We're here in Dallas, day one. We're at the Hidden Gym. We're with Luke Miller, my coach, and yeah, I'm excited to do some pull today.
Yeah, excited. So usually when you progress this, like we think like length and loading is kind of biased as we fatigue through the sets, which we can still do. But with the tricep injury, I'm thinking you get away with this with a little bit more shortened load.
Okay.
So that it drops off as you get into the lengthen. And if it's tolerable, then we move load closer to lengthen, but we never get into like most of it lengthen, a little mid, none short. We do the opposite because there's new data out now that shows like loading in different ranges is not necessarily going to cause more hypertrophy than another. It's more that you need to train the entire range through a session.
Okay.
So with a tricep injury, we know that like that vertical tucked plane is going to be the biggest problem. If we have this piece at home, this is the biggest thing for bodybuilders is like variable loading. We can work around things so much easier. So we're going to test it today. If it's not great, then we pivot into something else. But I think if we load it right, you'll have no pain. You'll just be able to train.
Okay.
So you want lat tension before you even lift it off. And then there. Get all the way. Turn a little bit. Start something. Should be really short.
Here.
Then, yep.
All right.
Yep. Get all the way short.
You're right.
Yeah. So the goal here is just activation. Wait. Good. And then over time, what you would do is you would move that from, I put you here to make it easier to feel your lat and lengthen. Ideally, the better you get at it, you would move this way because it's going to be easier to get it short. And then what we would do for the overhead is, you know how like I had you reach like full scapular protraction here as much as you could and then rotate and pull?
Yep.
I'd have you actually like lean back a bit, keep it supinated, and just try to get like into a lat here and then just depress and pull.
Gotcha.
And so the difference is like, you don't have much scapular dysfunction, so I don't need to do the other one.
Yeah.
Where like in that other situation, there's a lot of scapular dysfunction.
Right.
So you would want to stay more supinated. So there's a lean back to the torso. And then supinate and tuck the elbow as much as you can. Yeah, that's better. Good. Good. All right, 2 more, but hold these shorten 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. You know how dumbbell row feels like heavy in the shorten?
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of similar.
Gotcha.
And then as we progress and as long as your elbow feels good,
We're gonna go up.
we'll slowly put more length in the load. Load in the lengthen. How's that feel?
Feels fine.
It's going to be pretty light. But. Good. Good. Everything there? Feels pretty light, yeah?
Yeah.
Shorter arms, slightly internally rotated. You gotta adjust on machines more than someone else. Because like me being slightly like wider structure, just because I'm a taller individual, it lines quicker, right? Like I don't have to adjust over as much. So machines just aren't built for like 212 pros. They just aren't, right? And so like for you, you really gotta exaggerate the shift over to the side. Let me feel it. I'm gonna train like some today, kind of like mostly train you, but train a little bit. Honestly, if this today feels solid with no pain, we're gonna pivot into like 8 sets of this thing. because like it's so ideal for lat. And as you get better and better, you can move more and more lengthened loading, where your progressions won't be like more load; they'll be like load into the lengthen. We might want to try pushing this up a little bit and seeing if you can get that knee under.
Okay.
I'll jam this down some.
What I'm saying is you want this like planted into it and back, right?
Yeah. That way is the preferred way on pull down, the way that you have it now. I just find most people don't set up well in it, so I do it the other way with a lot of people. Come on. Good. That's gotta feel good, huh?
Real good, yeah.
It's that shortened range loading. So when you go home, like we'll just do about 60% of the load in the shortened peg and then the rest in the mid. And then hopefully we'll get to like 50-50 in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then we'll get to almost all of it in the middle. And then in like 2 months, hopefully we're like 60-30. So 60 in the lengthen. And like that's what I prefer. There you go. Okay.
Go.
Good.
I think it was just having gone in the groove of it again, you know, and
Yeah.
having a new facility that I was working at and
Yeah.
having like new machinery that I was working with and
Yeah.
feeling good, having essentially gotten established with family,
Yeah.
and just like being in a different place mentally.
Changes it.
When I stopped competing, I was burnt out,
Yeah.
you know, and my life like mentally was like in shambles and just was not feeling healthy in that regard, you know. So
Do you think because that's so much better that like I know it's gonna be better, but like it's gonna be much easier to improve upon the previous like last time you're showing?
yeah, I mean, I think already I'm looking at pictures and
You're way better.
I'm way better than I was at my best, and I thought I was pretty good back then. And this is like, you know, however many years later, 6 years later.
I'm so glad we did like the first phase before we went into this next one.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like just sets you up to be so productive this quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's just like kind of the reset button
Right.
that was so good.
And also, I think that having actually taken, I mean, it was at that point, it was like almost 4 years off.
Yeah.
It just, you almost like subtract that from my age. So I'm really 36, not 40, you know?
Yeah. It's like biological age versus actual age
yeah.
and like bodybuilding, yeah. Let's lower this for your next set. So we want the elbow plane to reflect that. I like grips that are somewhere in between neutral and overhand.
Okay.
Because it biases you, puts you in a position to more likely go here. So really just like the main thing with this variant from a cable perspective is just like, we don't want to get into the trap of like leaning over. Because if we then lean over, right, and we just pull, that's that same rear delt plane.
Yeah.
So in order to accomplish this well, we have to stay pretty tall, like almost slightly expanded, and then row there. So,
In other words, imagine you're isolated and you have the pad.
yeah, so, but like, I was trying to accomplish that with this, but like, that handle's too narrow for you to accomplish that goal. Because if the hand goes in, the elbow goes out and up.
Yeah.
And in that one, the arc doesn't match how tall or long your arms are. So you don't accomplish it either.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like I was going to my preferred variant. This will probably be the best variant 3 for what we have in this gym. That's so good. Yeah, leave that. We'll do one more warm up and then all in this one pattern.
Okay.
So it's never going to be just like one or the other. It might subjectively feel more upper because it's going to. But there will be some systemic help. Yeah, that's solid.
You want me to drive as far back as I can?
Drive back as far back as you can. I'm even okay if you go into some extension at it. Good. See how much better you're getting into that short end range?
Yeah.
That's enough. Yeah. There you go. Good.
That wasn't working, right?
Yeah, no. Still, New York's only a year away. Come on. Good. Good. Really solid. Good. Yeah. Good. Tall chest. Yeah. Good. Come on. Good. Yep. That's that. I don't want that. It's like just enough where you can bias enough lat and then pull. But I also don't want like just sit and then trying to find it because then that gets.
And you're also not leaning into it, right?
Nah. Yeah. So it's like the whole point of this hand here, this elbow, we can, depending on how your tricep feels, the whole point is to keep the ribcage stationary. Because like a fulcrum doesn't work if both sides are moving. So like we need this side to be as stable as possible while this side lengthens. So yeah, the less you can.
And now, are we?
Yeah.
Are we okay? For each side.
Let me put a little more loading on there because that's pretty light. For that, you'll mince.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pinching the lower leg.
Yeah. It should be like shoulder down and then back and right. Good. Just a fewer. Switch up the scenery. Run, you can rush forward. Good job. Good. There you go. Watch the hitch pull. There you go. We're down and yeah, really good. Good. Really good.
18 to 25. I think it was broken up.
Good.
And then it was 26.
Good.
And then it was
Come on. Good. 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 Stay in it, stay in it, stay in it. Yes. Really solid. Good. Really good, dude. Yep, yep, perfect. Good. This is where they count. Come on, this is where they count. Yes, good another. Come on. Still you. Still you. Still you. There it is. How does that feel relative to your usual wide grip? Because this looks on the money.
feels great.
You can see even if it's far from
So look at his tear. He's like not lengthened.
Yeah.
That scalp, so good. Good, leave that. I would buy that one.
Yeah.
Or buy a bar that's got a handle on it that's that same width.
Yeah.
Because for you, that is like textbook. It's in like extreme in ranges, different for different people. It's like for me to visit kind of where you're going, I have to be slightly wider, slightly pronated because my arms are like, I'm the opposite of a T-Rex. Like my arms are so much longer than the rest of my body. So like for me to get all the way into that exposure plane, I have to be kind of semi-pronated and have some internal rotation capacity where my scap elevates and I don't get shoulder pain. For me to visit the same in ranges. But for you, because like this matches your shoulder width well,
Yeah.
you can really paint.
And my arms are short too, so.
And you can really paint that. So like you have to find like movement exists on a spectrum. Let's train the whole spectrum of movement with the right patterns that train certain pieces. So like when I said on that single arm cable earlier, like we're not gonna go here, right? Because we're gonna go train this later. Like you're literally training
That's what we're doing, yeah.
there, right? So, and then you find the one for each person that gets them there without pain, and they feel like they can get it back shortened the strongest. If you solve that for each person you work with, it becomes much easier to coach people. Because then you have like infinite tools just on different in ranges. So like the exact polar opposite of this is a wide grip bar. Because it's the most internally rotated, it's the widest handle to get into that in range. And so you use anything between this to that and find the one that they feel the most comfortable with. And so now you kind of like have an iterative process to find it for each person. But like for you, like this is really good. Good. So, yeah. So good, dude. So good. Textbook, dude. Yeah. Come on. Good last rest there. Yeah, really good. That's exactly like if you have a spotter, what you want it to look like. It's like you're not going to get it all the way short. Just kind of help you get it there, and then it's done. And all I'm doing is I'm taking some carry angle out by like going this way with it, and where it's like more straight.
Yeah.
So it just
And you're also like letting it hang. So.
yeah makes it a little harder.
Yeah.
So you got more progression room.
Yeah.
Again, like maximize mechanical tension without making it hard to progress and keeping your joints safe.
Makes sense.
Biceps are like so simple. Like align wrist, elbow to shoulder.
Yeah.
And then if you can use a back pad, it's great. If not, create one. Like you were doing on the table, like with like doing this number.
Yeah.
You're creating a back pad. Because like even with a hammer, someone who's stuck to curling, like I'll go an extra step.
Yep. Do it actually that way you don't
Yeah.
go back and forward.
Yeah. But like you're aware enough to not like but levels.
Yeah. First workout with the coach, and what can I say? It was definitely what I thought I signed up for.
Yeah, we did a little posing after too. I don't know if that'll make it into the video, but excited.